Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today, e-sgol and the Children's Commissioner for Wales office, for this very special assembly to mark World Kindness Day, which of course is a part of Anti-Bullying Week. But before I move on and we start on the assembly itself, firstly, I'd like to note that we've got a very special guest from the Children's Commissioner for Wales office, Sophie Williams, who'll be walking us through a presentation about children's rights and all manner of things to do with that. But before that, just a quick technical note. We were in a session at the beginning of this week where a few teachers weren't able to hear us very well. And that might be because the noise or the sound isn't coming through the big screen in your classroom or the school hall or what have you. So if you can only hear us maybe through the laptop at the moment, the way to fix that is by going to the three dots with more underneath, looking for audio settings, and then you should have some options there for speakers, and you'll need to change that one to the correct device to make sure that you're able to hear us clearly through your Clever Touch or Promethean board or what have you, whatever kind of speaker you have in your class. Just make sure the settings are on the correct one to begin with. Anyway, there's the boring stuff out the way. We have Sophie on screen. Hiya, Sophie. How are you this morning?
What's up, pal? What's up, Hugh? I'm really excited to be here. Really excited and a little bit nervous, but that's okay. That's all good.
Yeah, I think you've got a right to be nervous. We are joined by 88 classes from across the country so far, and the number might well grow. Yeah, here we go to 89. But that just shows, doesn't it, that there are a number of schools that are really eager to learn about children's rights and World Kindness Day. So I think we're ready to go, Sophie. Are you happy to start?
I am happy to start and ready. Betty, bore da pawb. Good morning, everyone. My name's Sophie and I work for the Children's Commissioner for Wales. And you might be thinking, what does that mean, Sophia? And not to worry, because that's what I'm going to explain first. So, who is the Children's Commissioner for Wales? It's not me. Let's find out and see. It's this person here. It's this person on the screen, Rocio Cifuentes. She is the Children's Commissioner for Wales, and she has been in this job for over, it's testing me now, 2 years now. She's been doing it for over 2 years. And how it works in Wales is you're allowed to be the Children's Commissioner for 7 years before you have to leave the job and leave somebody else do it, because then everybody's priorities are a little bit different and what they want to do might be a little bit different. So she has been the commissioner for 2 years. She has 5 years left. And her job is to protect and to promote children's rights. And she does this in 4 special ways. And we're going to test Hugh today to see if he can work out what the symbols mean, what the symbols represent to what Rocio's job is. So Hugh, are you ready is the question?
Well, I suppose I have to be, don't I? I'm on the spot here, Sophie, but yeah, I'll give it a go.
Okay, the first symbol here, what job do you think Rocio has to do? What does this represent?
Now then, well, I think you've given me an easier one to begin with, and that looks like an ear. So I would imagine it's something to do with listening to children.
Yep, fantastic. So the Children's Commissioner for Wales, the clues in her title, is Rocio's first job is to listen. Listen to all children and young people all across Wales. That's right. Our office goes and visits and listens to children all across Wales. Sometimes we do this online, sometimes we do this in person, sometimes we do this by doing little online surveys or questionnaires. And she listens to what's important to children and young people, what's good in their life, or maybe what could be better and what could change to make sure that they're getting their rights. So her first job is to listen, a grando, Diane Hugh. Okay, the second one, you should be able to get this one, I think, Hugh.
Yeah, that must be some kind of loudspeaker. So I'd imagine that Rocio has to talk for children in Wales and make sure that they have access to their rights.
I agree, Hugh. So her second job is a megaphone or a speakerphone makes your voice louder. So her second job that this symbol represents is to speak out loud, is to raise her voice and speak out after she's listened. So after she's listened to children and young people in Wales, she speaks up about what she's heard, what she's listened to, and what maybe needs to change to make their life better. So ail swydd, second job ydy codi llais, is to speak up. Well done, Hugh. Okay, the third symbol, it's getting a bit trickier now. What job does this represent?
Yeah, they seem to be getting harder with everyone now then. Ooh, there's a hand there and it's underneath a group of people or children. Is it something to do with a helping hand that Rossio helps children across Wales?
Fantastic. I'm glad I chose this symbol. That was excellent work. So yeah, her third job is to help. So to help children and young people and the adults who look after you or work with you to know about children's rights, because it's hard maybe to access children's rights if you don't know what they are, and to speak up if you're not getting them. But also we've got a really special service in our office called the Advice and Assistance Team, and they're really clever. They know lots of different stuff about lots of different rules and regulations and laws. So if you felt that you weren't getting some of your rights, or maybe your parents or carers or teachers or people who look after you are worried that you're not being treated fairly or you're not getting your rights, you are welcome to contact our office. You can do this through a special phone number, through our website or through an email, and we'll make sure we share with you our website after this where you can find all the contact details, and you can contact our office and say, please, can I have some help? I'm not getting this right, or I'm not being treated fairly here. What can I do? So her third job is to help. Diane, Hugh. Right, the last one now, Hugh. This might be the trickiest one.
Yeah, so that fist makes me think that Rossio is powerful, perhaps, and ready to challenge on behalf of children across the country.
That's right, that's perfect. So after she's listened to children and young people about what's good in their life, but also what needs to be better and what needs to change, she has got the power to challenge people, challenge decision makers and Welsh Government, people who make the rules and the laws in Wales, to make sure that they're looking after children's rights. You can say, hey, Welsh Government, you've brought in this new law. Is it looking after children's rights? You've got to remember that because it's so important. So her fourth job is to challenge, challenge decision makers and people in power to make sure that they're looking after children's rights in everything that they do. And that's her fourth job. And sometimes we like to call them her superpowers, which is quite nice. So her first job was to what, Hugh? Do you remember?
To listen.
Fantastic. Listen to children and young people in Wales. Her second job was to
speak up.
Diane, you've got the clues on the screen now. Her second job was to speak up loud. Sometimes she writes reports, but she's also, sometimes you might see her on the news, on the TV, or hear her on the radio talking about what children have told her. Her third job here was to
help help.
Help you, Diane, help you learn about your rights and also help you get your rights if you feel like you're not getting all of them or you're not being treated fairly through our advice and assistance team. And the fourth one who was to
challenge.
Diane, I'm hoping some schools have joined in at home as well. So her fourth job was to challenge important people and decision makers to make sure that everything that they do protects children's rights and that you're getting them.
And a quick clue for everyone here, there's a quiz at the end of this assembly. So try and take those four in because there's a question specifically about Rossio's superpowers, okay? Sorry, Sophie, for interrupting.
Not a problem at all. Diane, well done. You've helped them out a little bit there, Hugh. Well, okay, then. I've talked a lot here about children's rights, and I'm sure lots of schools are experts in this already, but you might not be, and that's why you want to learn more today. So what are children's rights? Maybe you're thinking, oh, it can be quite difficult to remember. How do I explain them? But I've got a really simple way for you to remember what your rights are. Your rights are what you need to grow up feeling happy, healthy, and safe. Those are three very special words. And if you remember them, they can help you remember your rights. So they're what you need to grow up feeling happy, healthy, and safe. And I think we might challenge you in your classes at home and also Hugh now to a bit of a quiz to see if you can work out if it's something that you want or something you need. Is it a children's right or not? Are you ready? Hugh, ti'n barod?
Well, yeah, here we go again, I suppose. I'll have to be,
Let's
won't
go.
I?
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you a different symbol or a picture on each slide. I think there's 5 in total. And I want you to think about what it means. And as long as you can explain if you think it's a want or a need and why, it's okay if we think it's different things. So what do you think this first symbol is, Hugh?
Now then, so we've got 2 people. They seem like they might be friends or family members. So I would say both of those are really important and that we need them.
Okay, they look like they're having a bit of a cutch there, aren't they? Which is
They
quite
do,
nice. I
yeah.
like
Yeah.
cutches. There's also a bubble around them, so maybe like a protective bubble. So I agree, if you think this is friends or family or being safe, these are all some of your children's rights. Fantastic. And this links to Article 19, your right to be protected from being treated badly and to be kept safe. And then Article 9 also says you've got the right to live with your family as long as they can keep you safe. So I agree. This symbol links to family and being kept safe and being supported. So Diane, Hugh, let's see if you can get the next one.
Okay then. Oh, well, yeah, I'm more than familiar with this picture, Sophie. This is chocolate. And even though I feel like it's something I need when I eat it, it's probably not true, is it? So I'm going to go that I only want chocolate. I don't actually need chocolate.
I do unfortunately agree with you as well, Hugh. And I also would agree that it's something that definitely makes me happy, but it's not something that we need to grow up happy, healthy, and safe. However, I know lots of you in your classes are going, yeah, but we're allowed to have chocolate. And you're right, because chocolate can be part of a balanced diet cut boys, and it's totally okay to have chocolate. So Article 24 says you've got the right to be as healthy as possible. And Article 27 says you've got the right to an appropriate food. And also clothing and housing slots under that Article 27. So it's okay to eat chocolate. We're not saying you can't. I definitely do. But it's not something we need every day to grow up feeling happy, healthy and safe. It's not one of your children's rights. Okay, let's see what's next.
Right then. Ooh, what do we have here? Okay. It looks like a group of children or maybe a group of people who are exercising or playing, perhaps. And I would say that it's something that we need to exercise, and play for children is kind of like exercising, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to go with need, Sophie.
Diane, Hugh, let's see if you're right or wrong. Let's see what comes up in the box. Diane T, I agree. This does look like a group of people or a group of children in this instance. They look like they're having a good time. They might be dancing as well, even. And I do this quiz with lots of children and young people in schools as well. And yeah, lots say that they're exercising or they're playing. This could also link to equalities, Article 2. But 2 rights that it definitely links to is Article 15, your right to have friends, see friends and to join different groups. And also a special one that you've got as children and young people is the right to rest, relax and play, which is a right that adults haven't got. So that's a really special one. That's one of my favourites. I don't think I'm allowed to have favourites here, but it is one of my favourites. So Diane T, Article 15 and Article 31 next to this symbol. I think we've got 1 left. Oh, 2.
Let's see it. Oh, now then. Okay, so we've got some kind of chalkboard, a couple of sums and some letters. Because to begin with, I thought it might be the right to mathematics, but I saw the ABC then. So seeing as there are numbers and letters, I'm going to say maybe something like the right to go to school or the right to education, something along those lines. And I would say that's definitely something we all need.
I agree, and that is definitely a right and hat to include with all these fantastic schools, 90 of them now who have joined us today. So you do have the right to an education. I'm glad you said education there, Hugh, and that's what's written in Article 28 of the UNCRC, which is the list of all 54 rights. I've got a right to an education. Because some children go to school to learn, some children might learn at home, some children learn in special units, and some children, if they're unwell, might have to learn for a period in hospital. But you've still got that right to an education if you're well enough, because it can develop you and help you grow up feeling happy, healthy and safe. We've also got Article 29, which is another one of my my top favourites is you've got the right to an education which develops your personality, talents and abilities, which I also call the right to be the best you can be, which is a special one. So down here, Article 28 to 29, link to education. What's our la symbol? Let's see if you can have 5 out of 5 because you've done really well so far.
Now then, oof. It looks like this person is on holiday. Because even though the sun is shining where I am today in Aberystwyth, it's definitely not sunbathing weather in terms of the temperature. So if it's a holiday, I would say that's something that I want rather than need. But it also looks like he's really relaxed, this person.
He's pretty chilled.
He looks pretty chilled, doesn't he, there, with his head behind his hands behind his head even. So if it's a holiday, I'd say it's something that I want. But if it's relaxing, because we've seen that before, haven't we? I'd say it was something that I need. So I suppose it depends. Am I allowed to sit on the fence?
You are allowed to sit on the fence. However, I did put a cross in the box because I also, when I put the picture in, thought maybe a holiday. But actually, I've had children argue with me and say, no, miss, he's relaxing. You've got the right to fresh air and you've got the right to rest and relax. They're really important. So you're right. So we have the right to go on fancy holidays abroad. Again, they're totally okay and they definitely make me happy. However, you do have the right to relax and rest, and that's really important, as well as playing just to stop and pause and have a chill out sometimes. So Diane here, you've done really, really, really well.
Thank you very
then,
much.
so children's rights, where have they come from? So all of your children's rights are listed in something called the UNCRC, which stands for the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child. And that just means the list of rights. You have 54 articles in that list. And that list was written, Sue-Ann, can you show us how old the UNCRC is? The UNCRC will be 35 years old next Wednesday, and that's why we're hosting another assembly next Wednesday, following on from today, to celebrate the birthday of the UNCRC having children's rights, because they're really special and really important to have. And when they were written and all these countries across the world signed it and said, yep, we're going to look after children's rights, it was called at the time the world's greatest promise to children, which is something really special. And I really love thinking about that. So next Wednesday, lots of different people call it different things. Some people call it World Children's Day. Some people call it Universal Children's Day. Some people call it Children's Rights Day, and that's okay. As long as we're celebrating children's rights and this list of rights being created, you can do it whatever way you want. I've heard some children will be wearing blue next Wednesday, which go with e-sgol really well, actually. Here.
Yeah, I'm wearing my blue already.
Because that's the colour of UNICEF, who helped create the UNCRC. So next Wednesday, we will be celebrating the birthday. And how will we be doing that? And how would we like you to celebrate? So here, we're going to be setting these schools a challenge. Oh,
right, okay.
And
what kind of challenge? Now then.
Do you like a challenge, Hugh?
Oh, well, we'll see what kind of challenge it is first, Sophie.
I think we'll have to set you this challenge as well. So the challenge that we'd like to set schools during the next week and to celebrate Universal Children's Day, Children's Right Day, next Wednesday, is to learn the chorus or even the full song, the Children's Commissioner for Wales's Rights song, We Stand Together, which you may have heard at the start of this session when you were in that holding room, okay? It's a great song. It was created a few years ago now for a resource. Nice, simple words. It's got a chorus, a catchy verse, and it's even got a rap here. How cool is that?
Wow. Okay, well, if we see some classes rapping, Sophie, I'd be very impressed.
What's really nice as well is some schools I've seen make music videos to it. That might be a lot to do in the next week, but maybe something for the future. Yeah. And some schools like learning the Makaton or the BSL signs for the chorus as well, for happy, healthy and safe. And that's always really nice and inclusive as well. So some ideas, but that is our challenge. And how do they go about it, Hugh?
Well, so we'll move on to the next screen. Following this session, we'll be sending out this page that's on the left in a PDF format to every teacher that's registered for this session. So we'll be looking at our attendance list, and for every email address we'll send you this PDF. If it doesn't get to you by around lunchtime, send us an email. It may be something to do with your teacher email being hidden for whatever reason in our team's attendance. But as you can see, we've got a few QR codes there. Firstly, on the top on the left, we've got two QR codes, one Welsh and one English version of the quiz we'll be playing at the end of this assembly now. So don't worry, if you can't take part in the quiz at the end of this session, you'll have plenty of time during the week to have another go at it before next Wednesday. Then on the right-hand side at the top of the page, you'll see the challenge and the Padlet logo. And that's where you can share your recordings of your class taking part in singing the song. So if you'd like to record them singing the chorus or the whole song, you're more than welcome to send them to us on that Padlet link. Or if it's easier for you, post it on your social media and make sure that you tag e-sgol and the Children's Commissioner for Wales in doing so. You've got the Welsh lyrics and the English lyrics right next to the QR code as well, just in case you need them. And before next week, if there's anything else that you've been getting up to in terms of celebrating Kindness Day, Anti-Bullying Week, or Children's Rights Day, send them on to us. You can send them on to our email address there at the top of the page, ymholiadau@esgol.cymru, or again, tag us in your social media posts, because what we want to do next Wednesday is celebrate what you've been learning in the week since this assembly. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be the challenge, the song or the quiz. It can be anything you like. We've got some extra resources there at the bottom of the page, just in case they help. But I think you've got some other things that you'd like to share as well. Have you, Sophie?
Yeah, I've got two things that I really want to mention quickly. Is what we'll make sure that we do is send you a link to our resource page, and at the bottom you'll find a PowerPoint that's got loads of rights activities. I call it a super PowerPoint, and you can have a flick through that. Pupils, you can have a look through it and see what you fancy doing. It includes a rights treasure hunt, creating a dream school, and also creating a rights chatterbox. But what I didn't want to forget to mention here is next Wednesday, for Children's Rights Day, Universal Children's Day, the Commissioner is likely to be joining us online next Wednesday to also celebrate with us. So that's really exciting too.
Yeah, so we want lots of examples to share with her, don't we, Sophie? That'd be great.